Good evening, everyone. Saturday 8 I turned my computer today instead of my phone. It's still acting up a little bit. I think that there is some interesting, strange connections and energies within the universe still. So I just got home not that long ago from my farmer's market where I have a shop there, a unique one. And you can see behind me some unique photos. I have on my wall here. I sell some photography there and sell some of my essential oils and different items. And what I found interesting is that it's been 9 weeks now and I've met a lot of people there. And I've met some that know what I do and that understand what I do. And I found it really, really interesting, the people that I met that were excited about some of the items that I have there. I was excited that they would know about it. Even if they didn't, they were interested, and some of them wanted to learn about it. Some people have reached out to me. Many people took my business card and said that they did want to reach out to me and learn more. I think people are reaching out into themselves, into their soul, believing in a higher power, or whatever that may be, something to really move forward into. I view it as moving forward into 2021. I think every year this happens. I think this year is going to be so different, though, like I said in another video. People are really looking for more, something interesting, something more heartfelt, something more full of passion. I guess the one thing that I will say, I came home and I wanted to choose some tarot cards, actually. That's where my heart went today. I love everything that I do. I love the Reiki. I had an energy session with a client on Friday, and I love her because it's always divine timing. She mentioned that again, and I thought that was wonderful. And but there are times, more times than others, when my heart just calls out to the tarot cards. I think it's a really great divination tool. I can read energy and channel messages without any type of tools, but I like using them. I think that they're fun, and like I mentioned before, they don't. I think I was talking to somebody else. I said, the cards never lie. They don't. They always tell the truth. They always tell. They're always on point, and they always tell or confirm what's going on. And what I did today was I used the Saints and Mystics. It's that's Saint Teresa from Avila on here. She is one of the most beautiful, interesting saints. I really find them all really interesting. They're not just saints; they're mystics, um, which I love. I love saying that word, mystic. And the card that I pulled was Saint Martha, and it's authority. What I think it means more so is divine authority and authority within yourself. So I think if you find what that word means to you, it was about being of service. She was a saint of service, divine service and dominion, and she's a saint that loved her family, and she was very mystical. She understood and she loved that way of life. Um, she says that leading yourself to an understanding and acceptance of the infinite, the enormous scope of the spiritual world, the secrets, the knowledge, the practicality, um, to tackle situations. Many of the saints are very practical, mystical. intuitive, and in a fun way. And what I think this means too is to look into yourself and really understand what you need, and to reach out to those that can help you. And this is something I was going to make a video about, and I probably still will. I was asked and guided to do this, but I've been saying more so over this last year to just be really careful about who you work with. Um, there's a lot of young, I noticed younger women that are reaching out for help, but there's women of all ages that do this. And it could be whether you're into something mystical or you're trying to find your life path or find some clarity, and maybe you just love the oracle cards. But there are people, and um, we don't judge anybody else, but there are people who aren't as experienced, and there are people who are learning, and that's also a beautiful thing. And if you're guided to go towards them, there's a reason for that. I would just say be careful about who you go to, who you get your advice from, and that's been a message this past week, so I can't ignore that. I thought about not saying anything about that. I tend to just not want to speak about that when I get those messages, but I did notice it with the coming through the divine about watch the tarot card readers, watch people who say that they're psychic, and watch the people who are coming through about trying to sell you coaching programs and things like that. I think what the divine wants to tell me is that it's not very authentic, and it's always not needed. Um, I would say, be cautious. There was a theme mostly it was over October, of learning and teaching. And I think that went sort of well. The energies have been a little haywire lately. But to just be cautious of who you talk to, and but I still think it's a theme of teaching and learning, and you can do that online. You can do your own research. You can find people that you're comfortable talking to. There's a lot of us that work in service and have a business and things like that. Look at what's necessary for you. Look at what you can afford. Try to work something out. But don't go at the first person always that comes to you. There's a lot of that's been happening recently. And it's really unfortunate because I saw this past year. I saw this, I don't know if it happens to be this time of year or not. I saw this last year around this time in November and December about people not being truthful. And I see it getting better, and then I see it getting worse. So I just want to caution everybody, and most of those people will never see this video, I'm sure, but to not do that to another person, to not try to scam them in any way. I can't think of a better word right now, but to try to be honest and authentic, and not out there just to make money. And that's where one thing that I'm really thankful about it. I spoke with someone about this not that long ago, and I said, this is something that I've done my entire life, and it's not anything that I look to charge for. Obviously, everyone needs to make a living, and I think it's really important, especially as you're younger. If I had started younger making a living this way, it would have been just that way for me. But I chose a similar but different path. I always used what I did in everything that I do. Um, so I feel like I can teach that to others, or I can offer that to others. I can be a mentor to others. I can help them through that. Um, But besides that, just to be cautious and maybe I went through that, so then now that I can reach out to others and help them in a way to advance. Basically, whether you have been studying this your whole life or not, it's something that you can study, and even if you don't want to use it as a business or as a way of life, it helps in everything that you do to become more intuitive, be able to listen yourself. And there's different ways of doing that. There's many women who picked up tarot card readings just to try to understand it and listen to their intuition. I have some candles here if you like candles, and you meditate, you listen to music or a guided meditation in your journal. I think it's really important just to be authentic and um, and to be responsible and to just think about yourself, think about others, as I had mentioned in one of the previous videos. So I think that's still in here. And the other one is interesting. Sometimes when I shuffle the tarot cards and you see, if you can see that, the zoom's probably not so good, but she has her arms out in there. It looks like she has four arms. And sometimes we juggle a lot in life, and I think that's part of this. And then on the back side, at the bottom of the pile, I sometimes find that card interesting. And this is Saint Barbara, and it's empowerment. And that has the sun um, and some firepower. I think that there will be eventually Sagittarius season coming up, and that's a fire sign. The sun seems to be rather important right now. It is the 21st of November, and then the 21st of December comes in a month. And it's really powerful around the solstice and the sun, even if it's cold outside. And so empowerment is really important. I'm sure that would be a great word. There was another deck I was going to use. I haven't used these too often, but they're the medicine cards, and somebody gifted this to me. They are spirit animals, power animals. And I did a reading for myself for the first time with these cards. And it was spot on. It was amazing to be able to do that for myself and to see the animals that really, really spoke to me and really helped me. And so I thought that that's pretty interesting cards. That I would see if there was a specific one today. I'm seeing animals and seeing birds, blackbirds, squirrels have still been out. I have not seen a rabbit lately. The crow, yeah. I'm not surprised about that. There's a theme of wisdom going around, wisdom, shamanism. I was at the farmer's market today, and there's a friend of mine. She sells jewelry. And there's another friend of mine who bakes at the market, and it was like a peach. It was like a peach star, I think, something like that. But this sign reminds me of it. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, that right there, and it was peach, and the feathers to kind of wash away the dust, the old toxic energy, and the crow is number 24 of this deck. And without even reading what it says in the book, this is my number one spirit animal. It always has been. And the main thing for me is wisdom, but also intuition, intellect, um, instincts. Intuition and intellect are probably the most powerful ones. Um, Look in the mirror, see what you see in the mirror, and tell yourself that I love you. Those are the main messages that I get right now from this card. So if you have any spirit animals, feel free to put something in the comments and let me know. If anything in this reading or message resonated with you in any way, I felt like I wasn't really prepared today, but I thought I'd just talk and see what came about. I kind of did that with the last videos, but I felt a little more prepared than I did today. So let me know what you think. If you'd love to have a reading with me, I do them. What I started doing a few years back was I would do the reading in the privacy of my own space, and then I'd write it out and send it via email because I thought it was important for someone to have it written, and then they could look back on it whenever they wanted to. I still think that's a great idea, but I do know, especially now since the COVID and being stay-at-home orders and not going out much and not socializing as much. I think it's more important that people want to connect. So I do them on Zoom. That's the platform that I have been using. I can use other any video platforms, and I can do the tarot card readings live, or I can send them via email and then go over them with you face to face. That's the way that I feel it works pretty well. Phone works okay. I think when we look face to face, especially me being a Reiki master, and I use a lot of energy work in everything that I do, it sends that energy towards you. I can answer questions for you better. Um, I can channel messages and things like that and get your questions answered rather than just having you take it and leave it, which is works pretty well. And it's been really good for people just to read them. I know that's normally the people do that. But if we just do it face to face, that's fine too. Then I would just I would write some notes down and send it via email because I know that it's really difficult to try and remember everything when you have a reading. So if you're interested, let me know. If you have any questions, anything resonated with you, anything else you want me to talk about. I do have some topics that I want to try and get to this next week. And we'll see how that goes. So thank you very much for joining me again, and have a good rest of your day or evening.